Hi friends, it's Amanda here from Fun Hands-On Learning, and welcome to the very first episode of learning activities for the 2021-2022 school year. So this video is going to show you the learning activities that I have laid out on this table. They are for the first week of school for pre-K and preschool. So if you haven't seen my other videos where I was talking about the curriculum that we plan on using this school year, in those videos, I explained that this year I have a pre-K student who will be doing a little bit of kindergarten, but mostly pre-K. And then I also have two preschoolers. So these will be the hands-on activities that we will be doing for the first week of school with those three little ones. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, I'd like to start out with our alphabet activities. Then we will move on from there into some math activities and a few odds and ends. So the first activity is a really old activity that I made a long time ago, and I'm pairing it up with this little puzzle. I got this little alphabet set from a garage sale this summer for 25 cents. So it's definitely old school, but it's really cute. And so I wanted to pick that up, and for 25 cents, hey. So basically, these are some alphabet puzzles that I made, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, because I think I made these when my now 7-year-old was a preschooler. And what they are is they are animal alphabet puzzles. So basically, they're just 3 little pieces that you put together to make the letter. So here's what the puzzle looks like after you put all 3 pieces together. I have each letter of the alphabet has a different animal, obviously, that begins with that letter. So here I have them all laminated in this bag. We'll just do a few of them. We won't be doing every letter, but we'll do a few of them. So I'll have the kids put them together, and then I'm going to have them find the matching piece out of this alphabet set. So here we have A for alligator. A, a, a. The A says A. The A says A. A for alligator. A says A. Now I like to make up little rhymes, and so that was just one of my little rhymes, but I make up little rhymes with the kids as we are learning. And this little piece here actually matches the puzzle. It's got the alligator, so I thought that was kind of fun. So they will match that up. Now they don't all match. So for example, the B puzzle here is a bear, but the B here in this alphabet set is a butterfly. So that's okay. So when they do the B puzzle, we will say B is for bear and B is for butterfly. So when they match it up, they can also see that it's for another picture. So it doesn't have to match exactly. But I thought this was fun. So you could pair up these puzzles with any kind of alphabet set that you have and have the kids find the letter and match it up. We'll link this puzzle set below, and any of the other activities that I talk about I will also link below. This next alphabet activity I know you have seen previously, but I like to do the same activities again. So I remember doing this activity last year with my child that's in pre-K this year, but I didn't do it with my preschoolers. So I love to just reuse activities and do them again. This activity is called Alphabet Find and Cover, and it's a letter recognition activity center. So what you need for this activity is pretty much just these cards and then any kind of manipulative you have to cover up the answers. So you would pick a card. Here, for example, is the card M, and then you would use any kind of manipulatives you have. Maybe it's toys or little buttons, whatever you have, and you can cover up the matching letters. So you're looking for capital or lowercase m, so they would cover up lowercase m, lowercase m here, and capital M here. There's a capital N on there to kind of not confuse them, but to give them a little bit of a tricky time, so to make it a little bit more difficult. All right, now we are going to cover up ours with, instead of just using manipulatives, I am going to go ahead and use these little alphabet tiles I have. Now the reason I want to use these is because I have a lot of every letter. So as you can see here, there's a lot of E's and there's a lot of L's. So I should have enough that the children can cover up all of them with their alphabet tiles. So let's see here. For M, I have a capital M. So this is what they would do. They would go ahead and cover them up with the little alphabet tiles and match them up. So they're going to match up the lowercase m's and the capital M's just like that. Then the ones that don't match, they would leave blank. And then the last step is I pulled out these magnetic pieces. These are magnetic pictures, and they represent different alphabet letters. And I made sure I took out the ones that would match the card. So whatever the picture was on the card, I found the matching magnetic picture. If I didn't have the matching one, then we just aren't going to do those cards, and those cards are in here. So the letters that didn't match up with the picture, we're just going to leave in here for this specific activity. Okay, so after they have covered up their M's, then they have to find the monkey. M is for monkey. And here he is, and they just have to match him up as well. And then once they've done this card, we can take the pieces off and we can go on to the next card. All right, and they're not in order by any means. I just have them all kind of mixed up. So then they're going to look and they're going to find the fish and match it up. And they're also going to match up their capital and their lowercase letters. So if you happen to have the matching tiles like I do, this would be a great way to do it. If you don't, again, you can just get some manipulatives, some buttons, whatever you have. That way they can just at least find the letters that match. This next activity is a brand new activity that I just created. I just added it to my Ultimate Preschool bundle of activities. So if you already own that bundle, you can go download this activity for free right now. And if you don't own that bundle, you can get this activity in the bundle, or you can get it separately. So I will leave links below. Let's get into it. This one is called Alphabet Letter Match, and it has a crayon theme to it because it's kind of for the beginning of the school year. So it's got a school theme. And it comes with these cards here, picture cards like this, and then letter cards like this. So what the children do is they take one of the big cards and they place it in front of them, and they're going to try to match the lowercase letter, and then they're going to try to match the picture as well, that picture that begins with the letter. So for example, here is my letter A, and they're going to find the lowercase a. Now I have mine right up in front, so just to show you, and then they would place it next to it. So now I have my capital A and my lowercase a. They can also match up the picture. So A is for apple. Okay, so we have the picture there. And another way you can do this is you can use dry erase markers if you want. So instead of matching up the card, you could have a child who has good fine motor skills or needs to practice their fine motor skills write the letter on this little line. Okay, so they would write the lowercase letter because they're matching capital to lowercase. Or you could even, if you wanted them to practice writing it, and you wanted to add that skill into this activity, you could just have them practice writing capital A, if that's what you were working on. All right, because I did laminate all of the cards, so obviously with lamination, then you can use your dry erase marker. And then finally, another idea is to use magnetic letters or another kind of letter manipulative to match it up. So what I decided for this activity is I pulled out our alphabet bean bags. These are our alphabet bean bags. We love using these. We throw them back and forth. But the wonderful thing about these is one side has the capital letter and then the other side has the lowercase letter. So I can have them find the alphabet bean bag and they can match it up. So they can match up capital to lowercase, Or if you wanted to, if you were working with a student who's not ready to do capital to lowercase, you could just have them match up capital to capital. Okay, this next alphabet activity, I know you have seen before if you've seen some of my videos from last year, because I do remember doing this once last year, but my littler ones, my preschoolers, didn't get to do it last year. So I'm going to do it again, and even if my pre-K kiddo does it again, that's okay too. So what we're going to do is, it comes with these cards, and they basically have to just match up the letter with the beginning sound picture. And once they do that, then they trace the letter on their mat. Now, tracing might be a little bit more difficult. It's especially going to be something that my 2-year-old cannot do, but he still can scribble, or we can cover up the letter if we want on the mat with a toy, or I can try to help him circle the letter, however we want to do it. But my older ones can do that. Okay, so here's how it works. They're going to take a card. So I have the letter B card. I'm going to set that one right there. And then I'm going to look through my cards here and find the picture that begins with B. There it is. It's ball. Okay, so then after they find the match here, I have my B for ball, then they would go ahead and trace the capital and the lowercase b. I'm using a dry erase marker because my mat here is laminated. Now, another thing you can also do is you can match it up with magnetic letters or other letter manipulatives. For this activity, I took out our letters that come from puzzles. So these are wooden letters. And so what they would do is they would find B. And this set actually has capital and lowercase, but we can match up our capital B to capital B for ball. Here's another fun activity that you can use your magnetic letters for. This activity comes from my Phonics for Reading curriculum, the very first unit, which is the unit on the alphabet. These cards each have a picture on them for each letter of the alphabet. So here is the letter E card, and what they would do is they would think about, what does elephant start with? Elephant. The elephant starts with The elephant starts with That would be the letter E. The elephant starts with And then they would take their letters and they would build it on this little mat. So the reason the box here is taller is because that's for the capital letter, and the box here is shorter because that's for this lowercase letter. Now, in some of the letters, like Q for queen, the box goes below. Oop, you can't see that, because Q, when you write it, goes below the line, or lowercase q. And then, let's see, then there's some that are the same here for K, because capital K and lowercase k both go up to the top, and so the boxes are actually completely together. So you can kind of see how it helps the students learn if it's a tall letter, a medium letter, or a bottom letter. So then the students would just continue on filling in their cards. So here is a robot. So we'd fill in our capital R and our lowercase r. This next activity is called Play-Doh Letter Match Activity Center. This activity I made a few years ago, and it is a lot of fun because I usually use it with Play-Doh and magnetic letters, and then the cards look like this. The kids usually put their Play-Doh, oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't see that. The kids usually put their Play-Doh in here, and then they would use their magnetic letter and smash it into the Play-Doh that matches the picture. But instead, and I've done this before, I'm going to use these locks. These are alphabet locks from Lakeshore Learning, and they're really cute and a lot of fun, and my kids love them. So what we're going to do is we're going to pair up these with these cards, and I have the little keys here that come with the activity. So here is the very first card. So the kids will take a card, and this is an umbrella. Umbrella. What letter does umbrella start with? A. And then they have to find the lock that starts with that letter. So here I have U. And then they're going to find the lowercase key, which looks like this. And it's really fun because when they put the key in, if they have the right key, it unlocks the lock. Okay, and then the last step is they are going to match it up to the card. So we are going to look at umbrella starts with U, umbrella, and then they can flip it over and they can see that they have matched it up correctly because the pictures match. And we'll go on to the next one. So this is an X-ray. So they'll match up X, they'll also find their key so they can unlock it, and then they'll flip it over and it should match up. Ray. And we're just going to continue on. So here is a zebra. Zebra. And they'll match up the Z. They can flip it over and see if they matched up the picture correctly. And again, they're going to open it up with their lowercase letter key. So we'll continue on doing these cards and matching up with our locks. Okay, moving on to a math activity. This is a very new activity that I just created last week called Missing Numbers 1 through 10, and the children are going to be filling in missing numbers. So I'm going to take the first card here, and it is missing a number here. So we have a missing number, then we have 2, 3. What would go in our missing spot? Well, our missing number is the number 1. So I have these little cards here, these little circles that come with the activity, and the children can place the missing number in the spot. You can also pair it up with manipulative numbers that you might have. I have a set here of numbers that you can string on this string, but I'm just going to use them as little blocks. And what they would do is they would look through and they would find their number 1, and then they would place it in the spot just like that, 1. And then on this particular manipulative, it's a block, so it has a representation of the number 1. Okay, so they would matched up like that. And then the last step is I'm going to have them use these counters over here. These are just little characters that I got from Oriental Trading, and they connect, which I think is super cute and super fun for counting. And so they're going to count like this. Here's 1, so they would place 1 guy here. Here's 2, so they're going to place 2 here. And here's 3, so they would place 1, 2, 3 here. So that way they have the representation of not only the number digits, but they also have the number values. And then also, since these do connect, they can see when they connect it, I have 1, 2, 2. And they can connect this set, and of course they would have 1, 2, 3. All right, so now let's put these off to the side and I'll show you another one. So the cards are each a little bit different. So here's a card and it is missing, it says 5 something 7. So with some children, you may have to start at number 1 and count all the way up so that they can figure out what is missing. So we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they would say 6, and then you would say 7. Oh, it's the number 6. Number 6, can you find number 6? And they can look through here and try to find number 6 and put it in the spot. Or they can look through their manipulatives if you have those. They can find the number 6 and put it in the spot. And again, they can use their counters here. Now this one I might, instead of doing all of them because it might take a long time because these numbers are quite big, we might just do the 6. So we're just going to count 6. Can we count 6? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I love these how they connect. 5, 6. And then they would have their 6 little guys here. Okay, this is another new activity that I just created, and I also added this activity to my Ultimate Preschool bundle. I don't know if I mentioned, but the last activity that you just saw is also in my Ultimate Preschool Bundle. So if you want to see those activities, check out the links in the description box. Also, some of these activities will come from my Hands-On to Learn preschool curriculum, and some of them are just random in other curriculums. So I'll talk about that if I get to it. It's called Gumball and Shape Patterns. So it has 2 sets of cards here. These ones are the shape cards, and then these ones are the gumball cards. So these are supposed to be gumballs, and they do color patterns, and then these do shape patterns. So let's start out with the gumballs. So the shape ones come with these little pieces, so I'm gonna put them off to the side. The gumball ones also come with pieces. They come with these little circles, but instead of using those, I didn't laminate them or cut them out because I knew I would want to use these with these. This is a set of pom-poms that I have attached to magnets. So the great part about that is that you can use this on a cookie tray and the magnets will stick. Or the other great thing is that the pom-poms don't move around. So because they have the magnet on there, they will stay in place. So I really like that. So what we would do then is we would take one of these cards, there's a handful of different ones, and we would match up the colors. So this card is an ABAB pattern. So it's green, pink, green, pink, green, pink. So we would match green, pink, green, pink. And some of my magnets are a little bit different shades, but you get the idea. The kids will get the idea. And they would kind of match them up, and then we would talk about the pattern. It's green, pink, and so on. So this pattern on this next card is red, blue, blue, red, blue, blue. So it's an ABB, ABB pattern. And then they would, again, match up their pattern. Okay, this next set of cards has shape patterns, and so as you can see here, this is star, heart, rectangle, star, heart, rectangle, so it's an ABC pattern. And here's one with a diamond, heart, heart, so ABB pattern. So there's a handful of different patterns, and so what you can do with these is you can not only work on patterns, but you could talk about the shapes as well. And then it comes with the little pieces here. So then what they're going to do is they're going to take a card. So I'm going to take this card here, and they're going to just match it up. So they're going to go star, heart, rectangle, star, heart, rectangle, and so on. Okay, speaking of shapes and early geometry, this next activity also works on shapes. So it is a math activity, but it's also a vocabulary activity because I specifically made this activity to work on the names of shapes and working on using the names of shapes to help with expanding vocabulary. So this activity specifically comes from my vocabulary for preschool curriculum. And what they will do is they will spin the spinner, and I don't have the spinner attached at the moment. They'll spin the spinner, whichever it lands on. Let's say it lands on here, the triangle. Then they are going to go ahead and find the triangle on the mat. Now they are supposed to say the word triangle, triangle over and over again. And then there are little pieces here that they can use to cover up. They find the triangle and then they cover up the triangle on their mat. Now you can also use manipulative pieces if you wanted to instead of these little circles. And so I have a puzzle here. This is the puzzle that I have. It is a Melissa and Doug puzzle. I love it. And it has a lot of the shapes that are right here on our mat. So what they would do is instead of using the little pieces, they could just find the shape that they spun on the spinner and cover it up like that. So there is the triangle. Triangle. And so since this is trying to also work on vocabulary, we could talk about triangle has 3 sides, triangle. And then again, they could spin their spinner. Now normally I attach the spinner with just a little piece of tape, but I don't have tape here right now. That's what I would normally do so that it won't move when you spin it. So let's see, it landed on rectangle. So again, I'm going to take the rectangle out of my puzzle, and then I'm going to look on my mat and cover up the rectangle. So there are 2 mats that come with this activity. This is the first one, and then the second mat works on a few different shapes. So this one adds in an octagon and a hexagon, because I think on this other one, this one was more basic shapes. This one has a heart and a star instead of the hexagon and the octagon. So there are 2 different mats, so you can work with whichever one depending on which shapes and which words you wanted to work on. This activity also comes with flashcards for each of the shapes, so you could practice the words, and you can match them up this way too. So here's diamond, diamond, and then you can have the diamond off of the puzzle again and match it up that way. So this next math activity works on counting and number words. So it's just clip cards where you would clip the word for the number 4. But what I'm going to do is I am going to, instead of clipping the number word, we are just going to use these cards. I'm going to practice counting out the numbers. And so I have some manipulatives here that I wanted to show you that we're going to use with this. So this bin here are transportation vehicles, so we can use those to count. Or I have this little bin here, and it's these little pop builders, I guess you could call them. So you can connect them like you could connect those little people that I showed you earlier. So you can connect them sideways, but you could also put them on top of one another and connect them that way. So they're really great counters in that sense as well. So what I would do then is, if this is my first card, I would have them take a card. It says 4, and then I would have them use the counters, and I would have them count out 4. So 1. Now I have my stack of 4. All right, then we could do it again, and we could, and we can also clip the word. So I would say this says 4, because obviously the kids that I'm working with can't read yet. So I would just point it out to them. 4, this says 4. And we would clip it on, and then we could go to the next one. This one is 6. So here I've got my 4, and then I'm going to count 5, 6. And of course, they'll probably have to start at the first one, but if they don't have to start the first one, then that would be a great introduction into addition, because I have 4 from my last card. I just have to add 2 more to get to 6. So here is my stack of 6. So that's what we would do, and then I would show them, this says 6. Let's clip this word. Okay, I'm going to show you one more because there was something else that I forgot that we are going to do as well. So not only will we be clipping the number word, and not only will we be counting out the numbers, so this time I'm going to use my vehicles, and I'm going to count out. Okay, so I have a bus and an airplane and a car. So now I have counted out 3 objects. And then I forgot to show you on my little tray over here. Up here I have some numbers. These numbers are all on these Lego Duplo blocks. So I'm going to have them laid out like you see, and then I'm going to have them find the number and match it. So we're going to be looking for the number 3. So they would have to find 3 and match it up. So I forgot about that step. So they're going to count it out, they're going to find the number word, and then they're going to find the number digit. So when we did 6 and 4, we would have done the same thing. They would have found the number, digits, and matched those up to the cards as well. So these cards come in a pack of activity cards. I will leave a link below to those. I also have, for counting, for kids who need a little bit more of a visual, I have this counting activity, and this will be great more for like my 2-year-old. These are my counting friends. I've shown you these in previous videos. But basically these cards are all different animals. Like here's caterpillar, here's a bunny with the carrots. There's caterpillar, here's a monkey with their bananas, and a dog with his bones, and a mouse with his cheese, and there's another caterpillar. And basically, these cards are fun because they already have the numbers there for them. And so it's just one-to-one correspondence. So they use their little manipulatives and they just count it out. So here's my mouse, and we're going to count to 10. 1, 2, just one-to-one correspondence. There we go. There's all 10. And again, because I like these a lot, they can stack them and they can make a big, giant group of 10. Okay, this next activity is fun. It is called Fruit and Vegetable Match. So we are going to be working on our vocabulary words that have to do with fruits and vegetables. So this activity comes from my Vocabulary for Preschool activity bundle. And so it's not only working on this group of vocabulary words that have to do with fruits and vegetables, but it's also working on talking about healthy foods and all of that kind of thing as well. And you're going to also see that it's going to work on fine motor skills. So I have with me, to go along with this activity, these fruits and vegetables here, and this is from a set. I have like a piece of the box. It is called Pretend Play Fruits and Veggies. So all I have left is just like this little piece of the box, because my kids break every box. So the box was ripping, so I just cut this piece out so I could keep this little piece, so I knew what it was. And what it is it comes with a little cutting board and a little plastic knife, and then it has the fruits and vegetables, and they can cut them. They're attached with Velcro, so super cute, and my kids love doing this, and it's great for fine motor skills. So what they're going to do is, in this activity, it comes with these cards. We have carrot, pineapple, strawberry, pear, you can see that. And it has the cards. So what they're going to do is, we'll look at the first card here. It says carrot. I'm going to have to find the matching card. Let's look through here, find the matching card. Carrot. Okay, we've matched up our carrot. Carrot. Now we're going to find our carrot over here. Here it is. And then I will have them go ahead and cut their carrot. Yay, good job. So now you do not need to have this set of pretend fruits and veggies to do this activity, but it just makes it a little bit more fun. So we will go on to the next card. We are going to find pineapple. We're going to match up our pineapple, and again, we will cut through our pineapple. So you get the idea. This last activity I'm going to show you also comes from my Vocabulary for Preschool activity bundle, and this is working on farm animal vocabulary. It is another activity that's a lot like the one I showed you with shapes, except for they're going to spin and do farm animals, and then there's a mat here that goes with it. Now, instead of doing this specific activity like this, I took the cards that come with it, I took the cards out, and I'm going to match up the cards with this little toy here. This is a Melissa and Doug lacing toy, and it is farm animals. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these cards, and they are going to have to look at the card. So the first card there is a cow, and they have to string a cow onto the string. So they're going to look through their little pictures here, and here's the cow, and we're going to string the cow through. Now it's a little tricky, especially for their little hands, so you may have to help them, or I may have to help them, I guess. And I'm going to string it through there. So that's my first one, cow. Then they'll flip this over, and then they'll say chicken, chicken, and they'll find the chicken. Here it is. Here's the hen, chicken, and we will string the chicken. So you get the idea. Then the next one is a horse. Horse neigh. I feel like I'm talking to my kids. Sorry, I know I'm talking to adults here. All right, so then, as you can see, we're starting to get our animals strung on here. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to match up, and they're just going to go through, and each picture they're going to put the next animal on the string. Then we can, if we want, we can pull this mat out, and we can start matching up the pictures as well, which is always kind of fun. So after we string them on, then I can have them take it off one at a time. Take off and say horse again, because again, we're working on vocabulary, so we want them to be saying it over and over. This also helps a lot with speech. And so then they would look on their mat and put the horse there, and then they'll go and they'll unstring. So they're working on fine motor again. Unstring, take the hen off and find the hen, or chicken. Chicken, I think, is what we were saying. And then they're gonna unstring the cow and match up the cow. So we can do that as well on this little mat. Okay guys, I think that is my last activity that I have to show you. So these are mostly all of the hands-on activities we're going to be doing for the first week of school for pre-K and preschool. There may be a few other things we might be able to get to, and if we do, I will try to show those in another video. So I look forward to doing a lot of hands-on activity videos for you guys this year. I'm hopefully going to get on a little bit of a better schedule than I was last year. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.